So the Knicks took care of business on the road last night at Indiana, 128 to 115, the final score. The Knicks needed this a bounce back win after the blowout loss we suffered to Boston. We caught some breaks on the Pacers side of things, and there was no Miles Turner available for Indiana, although the Knicks had no OG Anunoby available. And Mitchell Robinson obviously hasn't suited up yet this year. It definitely made a big difference for Karl Anthony Towns, who finished the game with 40 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists, and 3 steals on the night. He took advantage inside. There was really no one that could guard him. Thomas Bryant tried his best, but he couldn't contain uh, Carl with the strength and the size advantage. Carl was in the post a lot, caught the ball in the post, did a lot of spins to get an easy look at the basket, simple layups, just simple post game. It was easy for him. But Josh Hart had arguably the best game of his career last night, 12 for 16 from the field, finished with 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists on the night. Even 2 steals for him. It was just an incredible game. Nobody could stop Josh. He was 12 for 16 from the field. He really just couldn't miss. He was getting a lot of easy layups, a lot of just great easy looks for him. It didn't matter what the defense did in Indiana. A lot of those passes were actually from Karl Anthony Towns, who had 5 assists, as I mentioned before. And some of those assists were really flashy passes. He was just feeling himself. There was a possession where he kind of did the rondo. Mikal Bridges wasn't really great last night. He didn't really do much, but he wasn't horrible. Precious Achiuwa was okay, considering he grabbed 12 boards, and he contributed well with 9 points. But Jalen Brunson was really bad last night in terms of his just efficiency, 4 for 11 from the field, 5 fouls. He got in foul trouble early. He didn't really play much last night, only 23 minutes on the night. But the other guy stepped up, like off the bench. Deuce McBride had a very good bounce back performance, 4 for 7 from the field, but 4 for 4 from three was really encouraging to see. He had been struggling with his three ball a lot lately, but it was good to see he was locking in on defense. There was a possession I remember where I forgot who he was guarding, but it was on the right wing. The guy was trying to get Deuce up in there, but he stayed on his feet. He contested the ball well. I just remember that possession standing out to me. Landry Shamet, who had been bad pretty much all season, had a decent showing. Only 1 for 4 from three, but 5 for 9 from the field. He did have 4 assists and 11 points, and he was a +9 in the plus minus category. I just liked what he did. You know, it was good to see him gain some confidence. He definitely needed it. I'm not sure how much he will be integrated into Tom Thibodeau's rotation from here on out, but it was just positive to see. Cameron Payne always brings energy to the game. He finished with 9 points and 8 assists for Cameron Payne. He actually led the Knicks in assists last night, so he's just always great. He's just always brings energy. You know, he's a guy that cares. Stealing a block for him. He's always active on the defensive end, so it's just good to see Cameron Payne really, keying in on his minutes. Knicks rookie Ariel Hukporti, only 6 minutes last night. He had a really good game against the Raptors a couple games ago, playing really great defense on Scotty Barnes. But I feel like Tom Thibodeau really set him up for failure here. Thibodeau is running a lineup with Precious Achiuwa, Josh Hart, and Hukporti together. 3 guys that 2 of them are not really good shooters at all. And Josh Hart is a decent 3-point shooter, but teams don't rely on, you know, guarding him out of the 3-point line. And he's just not a very confident shooter. So I feel like Hukporti's minutes really, Thibodeau did him a disservice by running him out there with that lineup. He had 2 turnovers. I feel like a lot of that was due to the lack of spacing. You can't throw a rookie out there with a bad lineup like that. You're kind of just setting the guy up for failure. But the Knicks as a team shot well from the three, 37% as a team, 10 for 27 from the three. And overall, from the field goal percentage for the team was 53%. So Knicks were very efficient last night. Barely missed any free throws, 20 for 23 from the free throw line. And overall, the Knicks did actually out rebound the Pacers. I rebounded them 48 to 36, so that's good. The Knicks had 37 assists. Whenever the Knicks have a lot of assists, they barely ever lose. I believe their record is something ridiculous. Like they barely have any losses when they get over 30 assists. So it was an encouraging performance. Even though the Pacers scored 115, the defense was much better than 115. When the starters and like the garbage minutes, when all the guys came out, the Pacers only had like 100 something points, like I think 104, 105 points. So the Knicks had a good defensive performance. On the Pacers side of things, Pascal Siakam led the Pacers in scoring with 24 points on the night. He did his thing, but no one else really stepped up for them. Tyrese Halliburton wasn't great, 16 points, 8 assists, which in theory sounds like good numbers, but he wasn't defending very well. He did have 4 turnovers. And his efficiency wasn't great. 7 for 15, which is alright, but 2 for 6 from three. No free throws. He didn't get to the cherry stripe at all. Um, Thomas Bryant was decent for Indiana, which is a bit concerning considering he had 18 and 9. And it's just like Karl Anthony Towns, his defense is not encouraging to see that a guy like Thomas Bryant can get nearly a 20 and 10 game. But whatever, we move. I digress. And then for the Pacers bench, they had a couple of guys like Benedict Mathurin and Ben Shepherd. Benedict Mathurin with 18 points and Ben Shepherd with 12 points. But it just wasn't enough for Indiana. Uh, the Thibodeau's offensive scheme, it really just opened up the playmaking for especially Karl Anthony Towns to just let guys cut back door. There was a couple of cuts. I remember one where Landry Shamet cut into the paint and he was just completely wide open for a layup. So possessions like that, I like what they did. I like how they moved the ball. The Knicks are always the best when they're moving the ball around. And yeah, I mean, it was a great game. Knicks play again tonight in Atlanta. I mean, sorry, Knicks play Atlanta, but tonight at the Garden. So we'll talk about that after the game. That'll be up tomorrow. But yeah, overall, good game for the Knicks tonight, last game before the All Star break. So yeah, should be good, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in.